In plain language, I would say that I inform my clients about what their rights are when they're at work, whether it's human rights, so the right to be free from discrimination, standard employment rights, like your right to proper severance if you're terminated, or just generally your right to work in a safe and healthy workplace. And then if they run into those issues at work, which is usually why they're coming to me, I advocate for them with respect to their employer and make sure that those rights are protected. My favorite thing about practicing law is getting to translate a system that's often very obtuse and complex to a lot of people. A lot of people usually have some idea that they have basic employment rights and human rights while they're at work, but the thought of trying to put those into words and navigate the legal system to enforce those rights is really, really overwhelming and intimidating. And so I like to think that I translate that system and I help them understand not only what their rights are, but what we're actually doing to make sure that those rights are respected. A lot of clients, when they come to me, they're self-doubting. It's a big step to take to go to a lawyer and ask for legal help. And sometimes they're wondering, is this even that bad? Is this worth coming to a lawyer about, or is this just normal? Should I just suck it up and deal with it? And I like to think that in the course of our conversations, I help them feel heard, and I help them feel just more empowered about their rights and how to judge, the behavior that they've experienced or the treatment that they've experienced and whether or not it's okay. And then I like to think that after they come away from our interaction, they carry that knowledge forward into any other workplace they might end up at in the course of their lives. Sometimes clients tell me, like, sorry, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time, or I know this is probably silly, and I really want them to know that if it's important enough that you felt you needed help about it, that you felt you needed to talk to somebody, it's important enough for me. I go home every night and think about my clients and their troubles and what they're going through, and I take it very, very seriously because work is a huge part of our lives, and if something's not okay at work, then that spills over into every other aspect of your life. So it really is important, even if you are wondering if it's important or not. If you thought you had to come and speak to an employment lawyer about it, it is important enough for me to take seriously. So I had a client a little while back who had been let go from his company without cause. It wasn't really an acrimonious kind of case, but he had worked there for a really long time. And so he hired me, and I was in negotiations with the company to get him the severance that he was entitled to, given all his years of service. Very sadly, right when we were on the verge of achieving the settlement agreement, he actually passed away. It was very unexpected. And I remember, emailing him saying, "Hey, can I hear back from you? Can we just confirm that we can go ahead and finalize this?" And his wife, his widow, emailed me back and said, "I'm really sorry, but he's just passed away, and I have no idea what to do. I don't even know if this deal is still on the table. I can't even think right now. What am I supposed to do?" And so, I spoke with some of the estate lawyers that we have in the firm, some of my colleagues, and what we did was basically get everything in place so that we could still get the severance settlement done, even though, there were some administrative items to go through. We had to go through his estate and all of that. But we ended up being able to make the severance settlement happen and to be able to pay it to his wife, who was the estate trustee. And there were some administrative hurdles to get over. But I remember at the end of the process, it took a couple months longer than we thought it would. But that at the end of the process, she said, "You know what? Thank you, because I just had no idea how to deal with something like this. And to know that I didn't have to worry about it was really, really helpful." So I think of that, and I think it's a good example of how we work to make sure that whatever resolution you get is something that works for you. Like, it's not black and white. It really depends on the person and the situation. And what matters is that, you get the outcome that makes sense for you in your life. So I have a little ritual before I do a court appearance or, an examination or a cross-examination or something. And before COVID, I used to kind of like find a spot in the courthouse or in the bathroom and just do this. And like now I just do it in my office before I get on Zoom. But I turn on something really loud and dancey, and I just like dance around like a silly person for 5 minutes. And I like shake out all of my limbs just to try and like get out any jitters and focus my mind. So if you're my client and we're about to go into court together or we're about to go into an examination, there is a non-zero chance that I've just had a de-nerves dance party by myself. We could have a dance party together if you like.